Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show with the Goon Squad. It's Black Thor, Ice Water, and Puma. Before we get to the NFL playoffs, we want to get some hot takes from the fellas. Ice Water, what's your hot take this week?
Well, we could bounce all the way around. I'm gonna keep it 100. Dallas Cowboys made a decision, and the decision was to stay with the same thing they got coming out next year. So I have decided on the encouragement of Black Thor to start from scratch. So as you can see behind me, no stars, no nothing, a blank screen. Start from scratch. Prove who the hell you are. What do you guys think?
Black?
I I'll tell you something, man. I was surprised that Jerry Jones didn't make a move, bro. I was really surprised. I thought that with all that was going on, and some people say Jerry's gotten soft. They got a lot to face, bro, because that loss was a loss in monumental proportions from all sides, all phases of the game. And one thing I saw in the playoffs, and I definitely saw against the Cowboys, was that a lot of these players can run their mouth and they can yab, but mentally tough, a lot of these players are not, bro. I'll speak to it in some of the games we saw this past weekend. A lot of these players are not mentally tough. So when the lights get real bright or the subject gets, get there, and when you think about some of the players of the past that stand out, the Joe Montanas, the Terry Bradshaws, I'll go Tom Brady in there. They knew how to build the fire when the fire was hot. And a lot of these common day players, man, and coaches don't know how to deal with fire.
Yeah, at first I was surprised, and then I'm like, I'm really not surprised because who else could Jerry Jones control? He doesn't want a coach that comes in and says, hey, I want to take control, and you have to get out the way. You said 30 years. 30 years we've been at this, and he won when he was in his 50s. I remember you saying that last week. But I do also remember that when Jimmy Johnson was coach, it was Jerry Jones who won the credit for all of that stuff, and he didn't want his coach to have that credit. He didn't want his coach to have all that power. And Jimmy Johnson had a lot of power when he came in. He did that blockbuster trade to get Herschel Walker. He did a whole lot of things to turn them from 1-15 to the Super Bowl champs that they are. And it seemed like Jerry Jones never really liked him being in the spotlight. Jimmy Jones getting all the adulation for that. So he decides to put Barry Switzer in there, which was a real big mistake. And then they won a Super Bowl with him. But then from there, he was like he wanted all the praise. He wanted all the praise. And as my father always says, pride comes before a fall. And he was prideful about it. He's been prideful about it for 30 years. Who else would want to go in that situation and have Jerry Jones just looming everywhere and really kind of sabotaging what you're trying to do with the team? So I can't see Belichick going in there. I can't see anybody else going in there. So when I saw it, I started laughing. And we're going to talk about a little later how it really kind of made the decision for one of our favorite Cowboy fans to say, you know what, I'm not a Cowboy fan anymore. We'll talk about that later. Ice?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. And I guess the thing that really, I hear fans, and I mean, you're not a Cowboy fan, but I hear fans saying, some people, even outsiders, saying that it is Jerry Jones' fault. And yeah, I get it, 30 years, that's the common denominator. But even when he wanted to take credit with from Jimmy Johnson, he was happy because they were winning. I just cannot believe he's that damn psychotic that he wouldn't trade some of that so-called I want to be great pain that he's endured for 27 years or 30 years for a Super Bowl championship or even make the NFC championship. Maybe I'm just in complete denial or something's wrong with me, but I can't see him not wanting to trade that, even that means being quiet for a year. I come to the point of I think that if somebody came in and actually coached and learned how to have these dudes show some leadership, then he wouldn't be on the field. He might have said what he said when Jimmy Johnson was there, but he never really was out there because Jimmy Johnson controlled it. He controlled it so well that the final year when they start getting into it, they were on autopilot. They were that damn good. Collectively, the three of us could have went over there and coached them to that Super Bowl. We could have because it's on autopilot. But my problem with it is, it's like, okay, whatever. Well, it's all on Jerry, but yeah, it is on Jerry, but Jerry don't play. Quit giving these dudes passes. Dak Prescott love you, but damn, bruh, 2-point conversion. They made a commercial out that shit. They said you dove when you should have ran in. Certain things you as a quarterback, since you are in the K8, whatever small band, people play football. You know how to play football, bruh. You got sleep commercials, you got all that bullshit. All we ask you is make some basic ass plays. That's why Tom Brady was great, because they make basic plays. Bruh, that's all I'm saying. Come on, bruh. People are hurting out here. Cowboys fans are hurting. And you at the forefront of it. Come on, bruh. And then you wonder why CeeDee Lamb mama said what she said. You wonder why? Because he's thinking the same damn thing. Ain't all your fault, Dak. Just be a leader, bruh. I know it's only sports. You got your sleep commercials, and I know I'm going on a tangent, but bruh.
Week 2 of the rant of like who are the Dallas Cowboys. Black, when you catch your breath. Your hot take this week.
Oh man! Oh man! The last second shot continues, right? There's two things about this, man, I found to be interesting. The coach of Washington, college football, took the job in Alabama, and players are like running, man. They're running like roaches from Alabama to get away from him. And then you had a coach from Oregon that made a statement that, I guess they contacted him, and he said he wouldn't take that job. Looking at that now, you think he's going to regret that when the season starts? The coach, I can't think of his name, from Washington, took the head coaching job with Alabama.
Ice?
I want to say no, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he was at Washington, he's been moving around. You know, he's the type of guy that has been winning. This guy that won, 3 straight national championships at NAIA level. So the dude has been progressively moving on and on and on. He couldn't do any more than he did at Washington, right? He took him to the highest pinnacle. But when you have an opportunity and you a guy that think outside the box, he seems to be, you know, he had Michael Penix over at Indiana as a coordinator. Then he ended up getting back with him and rejuvenating him to now where he's going to be a quarterback. Dude, this is the chance of a lifetime. If you mess it up, so what? Dude is saving. And I know a lot, 25 dudes or 100 dudes left in the portal. It's Alabama. You got to take it when it's hot. This is your shot. So I guess dude was like, I got the money. Sooner or later, they're going to realize I can coach. I got some people that want to play with me. He brought the quarterback when the quarterback's over from Washington with him. Alabama, man, saving. His legacy alone. Sooner or later, it's going to turn around. So I say no. I think he's like, shit, dude, how can I not? Can I get one? Even if Saban just come stand next to me and do this, I'm going to get some dudes, some 5-star dudes. So nah, I salute him on it. He had opportunity. Why not, bruh? And last but not least, I say on this, what if he's successful? For real. What if he does hit one? Then he good. He ain't gonna get no statue, but he ain't gonna never buy another cup of coffee in Alabama ever.
Well, my opinion, if he doesn't beat Auburn, if he doesn't beat some of those teams in the SEC, those Bama fans are going to be trying to get him out there quick, fast, in a hurry. There better not be any letdown from what they're been used to for the last 2 years. And I'm sorry, that's how Bama fans are. They are like, that's the only thing in Alabama right now, Alabama football. And if you don't win at a high level, he better hit the ground running, and he better keep that program afloat. Not even afloat, but successful in the 12. If they don't make the 12-team playoff, he out of there. He's out of there. And I understand him taking a chance and all that other stuff, but Nick Saban is a legend there. It's almost like Bear Bryant. Bear Bryant didn't even win at the level of Nick Saban, but he left such a legacy there that, you know, he's in the same conversation with Bear Bryant and all those Alabama teams and everything. And you had the players leaving. He's going to have to do some heavy recruiting, get things going, and not miss a beat. Because if he does, you can hear those Alabama fans. They're going to still roll tide, but not with him. Black?
Yeah, it reminds me of a comedian. Let's say Richard Pryor goes on the stage first. He kills. You want to go behind him? You know, you really want to go behind him. And I look at it like this about him. I don't think the recruits are going to be there, bro. If the players now are leaving, who's coming? Who's coming? If they're leaving, they don't really believe in you. Who's coming? Alabama did what they did because of Nick Saban, but more or less, in my opinion, because they were a turnpike to the NFL, bro. And players knew that. But now, part of the reason why Saban took off because of NILs, that turnpike is closed, bro. It's there's stuff on the turnpike. Trucks are, basically blocking the traffic. So my point is, if you get there and you're substandard, like, Puma said, bro, it ain't gonna take long. And to me, you were in Washington, you was doing well, you just coming off the championship, hang there a little while longer. That's not the job you want to take because Alabama is totally different. SEC is totally different. So ask the guy at Louisville, LSU right now. He found out in a hurry. He may not be around much longer if he doesn't get it going this year. So it's not going to be easy, man. I wish him the best, but I don't think that's a good fit. I don't think he fits what's going on there. I just don't. And I wish him luck, but I think he was impulsive taking that job.
All right, let's go to the NFL playoffs. There were some great games this weekend, and then there are 4. You have Kansas City going up against Baltimore, and then you have Detroit going up against San Francisco in the coming weekend. But I want your eye test, Ice, of the games that we saw on the weekend. There were some close and competitive games. What surprised you, and what did you see out there? Because I saw a lot, and it should really be interesting this weekend on how these teams respond from some of the things that were exposed last week.
First of all, kudos to the Detroit Lions, bro. I didn't know what to expect, and I know we've been talking about them, but they stepped up and they said, you know what, hey, the hell with all that. And their quarterback was like, we believe we're going to do it. So kudos to them. I didn't say Tampa Bay. I'm not saying Tampa Bay is the strongest team in the world, but when it's on the table, they're playing like they really want to be there and they want to win. Kudos to them. Kudos to what they have done for their fans who have not been this excited hell since Barry Sanders left. And they never, I don't think, really made it this far. So kudos to them for that. The other thing, too, is kudos to the Texans, man. Like the coach said, hey, we're just getting started. It's cool. We want to do better, but this is a hell of a start. And I like that about him, too. I ain't going to take it all, but one other game is, I told y'all last week, Josh Allen, bro, was set up for you. The table was set up. All you had to do is put your napkin on, pick up your fork, cut your steak, saute a little bit, put a little something on there, and wipe your mouth and walk on, bro. I don't think you're never going to get this shot like this ever again. It was tailor-made for you to walk on in at your place, everything set up. Even if you knew one of the mental things where if you just throw the ball under, get closer to the field goal, maybe we go to overtime, bro. I know I'm on these quarterback mistakes, but that's $1 million type situation. I don't know why they don't. Last point on this, I don't know why these quarterbacks don't understand. All this money you're making, you can make an audible call at the line, bro. They can do it back in the 70s and 80s and win and shit. You're a great quarterback. Sometimes you got to do that, despite what the coach say. If you're a winner, I rather die by my own hand than have somebody else wreck the damn car because I was scared to drive. Leave that right there.
Woo! Quotable quote right there. Black, watching these games over the weekend, Baltimore, it seemed like at halftime, Marmar gave them a look and said, listen, we got to take this. This is our time. We got to take this. I want a championship. I'm getting older. And so they really, really did a job in that game and saying we are a cut above everybody else. San Francisco seemed a little rusty at first. We're able to get it done and get some things done. Kansas City, what can you say? What can you say? They found Kelsey brother up in the stands with his shirt off. Drinking beer. I know that was a big boost, but it seems like the Buffalo Bills, they're one of those teams that's snake bitten. like the Minnesota Vikings in the 70s and 80s. It's like they get there, but they can't get it done. And I was telling folks on Saturday, I'm like, Josh Allen, I just don't trust him. I just don't trust him. It's not all his fault. It's not all his fault. And you have another wide right kick. And, you know, he almost fumbled the ball to give the game away. You know, people aren't talking about that. He had a guy wide open in the end zone, couldn't get the ball to him. There were just a lot of missed opportunities with the Buffalo Bills. And it just seems like when the moment gets too big, they just can't live up to it.
I'm gonna circle back to what I said earlier about the mental toughness, bro. And that's what I saw on display at the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Cracked up these commentators asking, well, you know, it's missing 7, you know, defense. But none of that matter, bro. You had Diggs drop the wide open touchdown. I mean, right through his hands. Him and his brother talk all that smack all year. Guess what? You can't even catch it when the heat is on, bro. I think overall he played a pretty good game, but I didn't like the fact that he was just trying to, in the first half, I'm just going to take off and run. I'm going to take off and run, bro. You're not going to win the Super Bowl that way. You're going to get some first downs. And what's kind of going unnoticed is that the defensive coordinator, the Kansas City Chiefs, is a smart man. He's not a good head coach. Great defensive coordinator. Believe it or not, that's the same cat that took down Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl. Took him down. People forget that. So he's going to figure some stuff out. If he could take Tom Brady down, he's going to slow you down. But it was still there for him. It was still there. And they just they bungled some plays. They dropped some passes. The coach, I'm sorry, man. It's not preseason. You're going for a fake punt to a guy that has a bad heart when you're 35-yard line, and I don't get it, bro. I don't understand that call at all. I mean, even if Kansas is going to score, make them come all the way down the field. You don't basically guarantee them points, and you're lucky that the ball fumbled. So I just don't think Buffalo are mentally tough. I mean, he's a good quarterback. At key moments, they do some wrong things. Everybody look at the read in that last play, which is true. You dump it to the man cutting across the field is wide open. He's going for the touchdown. Now, if he could have got it there, he did get hit. If he could have got it there, it could have been a touchdown. But see, that's his mentality. I want everything to be splashed. I want everything to be big. He reminds me a little bit of Brett Favre. If you play around him long enough, he's going to give you what you want defensively because they're always going for the kill. They don't like to work it, just kind of work it methodically. They're always going for the kill. Marmar, I'm happy for you, bro. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If that team was a Super Bowl, and I believe it will, it's going to be on that defense, bro. That defense put the blanket out Saturday afternoon. They had to, I didn't know their defense was that good. And I watched them all year. But Houston offense going to do anything. And Houston's not a bad team. Houston D wasn't bad either. But that defense, my goodness. And I watched him last week, the quarterback for the Rams, Goff. And I was like, okay, he's playing well. I want to see it back-to-back. He played better this past Sunday, bro. Yeah. Goff, if he's playing like that, it's going to be tough. San Fran's in trouble because that cat, his accuracy now is getting get rid of it quickly. And San Fran, man, they should be somewhere in a huddle praying because if homeboy did not basically throw that pass, Josh Love, across his field, if he'd have ran or threw that ball away, they may not be advancing on. They may not be advancing on, but Green Bay had them right where they want them. But he made a pass that he shouldn't have made. I'm not going to say it all comes down to that because he's growing. But I'm not sure. Green Bay, to me, is leaking into the Super Bowl if they make it. Detroit might take it away from them. But I got, that Ravens defense, goodness, man. That defense is something to be reckoned with. But they don't allow you to breathe. They do not allow you to breathe. They take away everything you want to do.
Yeah, I'm trying to say that San Francisco was kind of rusty, but if they don't tighten up on that defense, they're not going anywhere. In Detroit, in the game, they want it. They're hungry. I was looking at some of the statistics in the Bills game. The Bills won every important category in that game. Time of possession, they won. They won the first down battle with 27 first downs against 21. They had the total yards. They had 368 total yards. Third down conversion, 7 out of 14. Fourth down conversion, 2 out of 3. No turnovers, and lost the game. They won on every one of those categories. What I read is that the reason why they went for it is because they said that they had an automatic call when Kansas City brought out 10 men instead of 11 guys, that was the call. I don't know if I would have done it on the 35-yard line at that particular point, but that was that automatic call that they went with, and that's their excuse on why they kind of failed at that. You want to say something, Black?
Yeah, my point is, okay, I get that to an extent, but if you're going to do that, then why not keep your quarterback out there, just run the ball? You just run the ball with your quarterback. You've been better off running him out in a bootleg. You'd have done that, which made more sense. You put a guy out there that didn't play basically all year to get you a first down in a playoff game. Think about that for a second. Hamlin, you put him out there. Hamlin's not used to running the ball. You've been better off having Josh roll it out and just run forward. He's hard to tackle. If he falls forward, he's what, 6'5", 6'7"? That's 2-3 yards right there. I mean, come on, man. I mean, that's what that coach should be. This is the same coach that a few years ago, same head coach. I mean, remember in the season last year, an article came out about him that, you know, he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's tough to go along with, bad play calling. The same coach there, when they was playing Kansas City a couple of years ago, he took the coaching duties over in the last 13 seconds. We know what happened. They went to prevent defense. So he got tight. He gets tight. He makes dumb decisions. But we act like he's a good head coach because they win games during the season. So if you're asking me, and I'm not saying based on the quarterback, this coach is Mike McCarthy. He's Mike McCarthy. He just don't get called for it because he can get you there in the playoffs, but they do the same thing every single year. They do bonehead, dumb things in the playoffs, and they sit home watching just like we are.
Ice, you want to say something about that?
Yeah, man, I think it's the mental block, bro. I mean, certain people just got your number. I mean, when it's set up there for you, you just got to walk through and do it. I mean, sometimes coaches get in the way, but you're thinking about, you know, Allen. It's like, dude, y'all so close. Can't you get him over the hump? I mean, we remember old school times. As much as I wanted the Houston Oilers to beat the damn Pittsburgh Steelers, couldn't do it, bro. It's a breakthrough. You got to be able to break through. And I just don't know. It seems like they have that. Everything set up for you. The Kansas City receivers are not as great as they should be, or they've been disappointment all year long. And you can't get it through. It's like, I don't know. I guess I'm blown away by it. And it's an ongoing thing, it seems like, in the league, how we're looking for leaders, man. Teams are this close. We talk about how much talent these teams have. And just a little ounce or one or two guys with a little leadership get you over the hump, man. And that's not, I guess I had to understand, that's not today's NFL. And if they do have the leadership, it's only a few players, a few teams that had that. And maybe that's why they're successful every year.
Yeah, and it's sad because we saw not Pittsburgh, but the Buffalo Bills go to 4 Super Bowls and couldn't get it done. We've seen them with Jim Kelly, one of the best offenses and defenses I've ever seen, and they just couldn't get it done. And like I said, it's like the Minnesota Vikings all over again. Had great teams, the Purple People Eaters and Fran Tarkenton and Chuck Foreman and all those great players, and just could not get it done. So it's like, you know, great teams are standing in some of these teams' ways of getting things done. On a sad note, I know the Cowboys game was about, last week and a week before, and we got another fan who says, you know what, I'm not going to do it. Our guy on the show, Pop, I know some of you have never seen him, but called him last week. I gave him a week to kind of, think about it and all that. Called him last week and he said, you know what, can't do it anymore. I can't be a Cowboy fan anymore. Now, folks, I'm 57 years old. All my life, this man had tried to get me to root for the Cowboys and had, rooted for the Cowboys. Him and my mom separated a few times, but he never separated from the Cowboys.
That's perspective right there.
This is a big story. When Jerry Jones, when you can get a man to say, you know what, I'm done. And I think, Black, the straw that broke the camel's back is when they brought back McCarthy. And he's like, you know what, I can't go another year with this. This is going to be the same thing. I was going to send them a Dak Prescott jersey because I know he burnt the last one. I'm like, you know what? Here's a new one because I know you threw away the last one. But this is what we want to do. Since he's the subject of the show, I want to send it to him. And then I want you to talk about it. But who should Pop pull for now? Because he talked about the Carolina Panthers, but I don't know if that's going to be something that he's going to want to deal with. So I'm gonna go to you, Black, because you know my dad maybe a little bit longer than I have. You being open and all the wars and arguments y'all used to have back in the day about the Cowboys. I'll go to you on this, man.
Pops, I'm gonna get real with you, bro, because I've been there with you. I've been there before you. I'm an ex-New York Knicks fan. That's all you need to know. So in reality, you can't become a fan of the team, bro. You can't. Just watch sports at this point, bro. You can't, because your heart will not go out to another team truly. And your heart's still going to be somewhat committed to the Cowboys. So, yeah, you can become a semi-fan of another team, and when they should not be the Carolina Panthers. You know, we're talking on the show the other day, and I said Houston, Texas. I would start to look at them, but in reality, man, just start to enjoy the sport, bro. And you know, it's gonna hurt for a while. It's gonna hurt for a while because I tell you right now, when somebody says the name Charles Smith, I'm ready to throw a punch. I'm ready to throw a punch right now. So it's gonna take a while, and that was years ago, man. Trust me. So I feel it. I feel it. You know, I understand where you are. I'm not trying to kick you when you're down, but you should have known this a long time ago, man. A long time ago, what the Cowboys are going to basically do. I admire you riding with them all these years. When says 57, I know we for 61 years, man. It's been that long. So that's gotta hurt, man. It's gotta hurt. You know, drink some coffee. You know, take long walks, maybe some bubble baths, whatever you gotta do. You gotta get over it, bro, because it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. But I would advise you, do not pick another team. Do not pick another team. Who knows? Maybe another 10, 15 years, they might get a quarterback that really could throw the ball and might win his championship. Who knows? But it won't be anytime soon. We all know that. It won't be anytime soon. Because more than likely, you're doing the right thing. Because more than likely, after this year, Dak is up for a contract, and I think they're going to extend him. I think it's going to be the dumbest move they make if they extend Dak Prescott. I got a funny feeling the Cowboys will extend him, and it's going to be the next 5 years of watching the same old stuff. You know, Dak looking up, throwing interception, looking up at the looking up, see what happened. You know what happened. You do it. You look up there. Like, oh, yeah, you do that. We know what happened. What you look up there for? Classic. And then you got Fat Boy on the sideline looking like this. So it is what it is, man. It's a Dallas Cowboys. Exactly. It's the same plays you've been putting all the time. So it's just, I understand it. Hey, man, take some time to yourself. Really. Just deep breaths. You know, relax yourself, man. Find a nice, coffee shop. Take some time to yourself. That's my message.
You know, Ice, Pop has been saying, and I have a nephew, he's a grandson, it looks like CJ Stroud, and he's mentioned that a few times. So I know you making this suggestion to Houston Texans. I'm making the suggestion Baltimore Ravens with Marmar. But, and one of my guys said, why don't you make him a Steeler fan? I would never do that. I would never, Steelers are not in the equation. You can't go with the enemy. But your thoughts on this, man? Who should Pop root for, man?
First of all, let me put this in context for everybody that's watching and listening. Pops, we got a connection when it comes to that team that you're talking about leaving. Pops, listen to me. When I was a little kid, this is how far it goes back, Pops. I remember when Roger Staubach replaced Craig Morton as the starting quarterback. And I understand, when I first started watching them, they won the Super Bowl. I thought that's what teams did every year. I was like, shit, we're going every year. We're going to win 9 Super Bowls. And that was my experience. That's why I was like, I lived in Ohio. I saw that star. It was shining bright. I bought a jacket. My dad bought me a jacket. I got ridiculed in school. I didn't give a damn because I was a champion, damn it. A champion. When a champion, I know what that feels like. Cleveland, Cincinnati never felt that way. So that's my perspective. So with all that being said, I understand the pain. I understand T.O. stomping on the star and then trying to come back and act like he's part of the group. We don't do that. But regardless, so you understand where I'm coming from. That's what I'm saying. You're a hell of a fan. We appreciate you, or they should appreciate you. And I understand Black Thor saying, just go to the coffee shop. The hell with that. You believe what you believe. You're a true fan, NFL fan. You're gonna kick yourself because you're like, damn, my team should be winning. So if you do step away like you have, think about it this way. Somebody has said about looking at Baltimore. I told somebody else this before from the standpoint of why you want a quick fix. You don't want that quick fix. You want longevity because you're a true fan. Don't jump on the quick wagon. That's why. Go to Houston. Houston has a young coach, great young quarterback, a young defensive player to build around, and they're working. And sooner or later, everybody's still healthy and they keep the right mindset, they're going to win some games, and they're winning games now. Think about it. First year out the box, they make the playoffs. Pops, it's right there. I'm not going to jump on the wagon because I'm just done. I'm done with the whole thing. But if you're going to do it, stay in Texas and go and give it to the Ravens because they own something. They want to win. And I don't know if they're going to win the Super Bowl, but damn it, you might as well enjoy the ride. Anybody else? And I know you know, and last but not least, as you know, as they said, they're looking at the option of Dak Prescott, but also realize this is McCarthy's last year on his contract. So maybe they just clean the slate. Look at the empty space. Pop. Go to Houston.
All right, Pop. There you have it. You'll get this show a little bit later. And my suggestion, Baltimore, but you know,
Coffee shop.
I think you're gonna go back to the Cowboys. I think they're gonna do something. They're gonna win you back, just like that old girlfriend. They're gonna win you back somehow. Like, you know, remember how I used to be? You know, with the star on the helmet, wiggle a little bit and get you back. So we'll see.
Wait, Chief Ready.
Pop, she gonna pull a football on you. Don't do it. Lucy and Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown, Lucy football. Yeah. Let's go to the NBA. And hey, Celtics still holding on to the league in the East, winning 7 out of their last 10, 7 out of the last 10, I'm sorry. The Bucks had a little skid. They went 500, and a lot of teams are cooling off, but there's been some hot teams with the Knicks and the Cavaliers going 8-2 in their last 10. You got the Timberwolves still holding on to that #1 spot by 1 game. But they've kind of gone neck and neck with the Thunder, and they're waiting to take that #1 spot. And then with a 6-4 record, both of those teams, with the Nuggets have a 7-3 record in the last 10. Clippers, we talked about them last week, 8-2 in their last 10. Black, give me your eye test on the NBA, man.
Yeah, the Clippers are, they're rolling strong. I mean, what's the name? The cat that just signed the contract. I can't think of his name.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yes. Yeah, he looks good. He looks good. He looks healthy. He looks better. He's playing and looking good. I haven't seen him look this good in a period of time. So if he can stay healthy throughout the season and move into the playoffs, they're going to continue to be reckoned with. You forget from time to time, maybe I forget, Tyronn Lewis coaching them, and he's a hell of a coach. So they're going to make some noise. I think Boston, I watched them play Denver, and to me, Boston got exposed. And I mean, a lot of times I don't pay attention to what, Big Kev says. But I was watching him after the game, and he said Boston, his coach, has him shooting way too many threes. And he's right. They don't go to the paint enough. And when they do, they go there looking to get fouled, not to basically make a basket. And I'll say this, and I said it before, I like Tatum. But Tatum is overrated. He should not be the leader on that team because he's looking at key moments. He's looking to get fouled. He's not looking to basically get the basket. And he's not mentally, like I said earlier, mentally tough. He's not a mentally tough player. But again, man, no one talks about them. They're not sexy. They don't have the BDLs. They don't have the big boobs. The Denver Nuggets are playing some serious basketball, bro. They are. They just are. I mean, they're just playing some basketball. They're going about their grind, getting it done. It's like they're just traveling on a tour. Just, we'll win some, we'll lose some. But when playoff time comes, they're going to be ready. So, yeah, the NBA is kind of moving along. Once again, I'm kind of waiting, till All-Star season gets here. All-Star week, I should say, and after that, see how things kind of roll. But for the most part, some teams are kind of jamming. And one thing I noticed about Milwaukee with the guard they picked up, they lost a little bit of defense with him, bro. He does not play defense. And he'll give you some shots from time to time and money-making shots, but I'm curious to see when the playoff does come, how that's going to play for them because with the teams that are basically killing them now, they're killing them from the guard spot because he just basically has that matador defense. I'll see when the ball goes to the offensive end. Reminds me how when I grew up playing basketball, we should call those guys basket hangers. Remember back in the day, Maurice, they never lost. They never came across half court. So he comes across half court, but he doesn't play any defense, man. So in a way, he's a basket hanger.
All right. Another team I failed to talk about is the Phoenix Suns. They got their big three kind of rolling a little bit. They're 7-3 in their last 10, and they're in the #7 spot in the Western Conference. Ice, your eye test.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of NBA. I watch a lot of college, even women's college basketball. But
I wonder why.
What you mean? Why? What you talking about? What about?
I'm sorry to interrupt, man. I misspoke.
You wonder why? Why? By NBA or college, man?
Why you watching so much college?
Look, all I know is you better hope that lucky streak keep going, bro. Because the damn sure ain't work for you in football, but that's another story. Anyway, we're going to stay focused. So the topic is the NBA. So here's what I say, though. I watched Denver versus Boston, and whoa. Boston was rolling, moving, and one of the things happened, but I kind of saw it. I wanted to see it firsthand. Porzingis is playing real well, pretty much for the season. But when you had that matchup against the big fella, man, the two-time MVP just putting work in, and you know it works. They had a scenario. They put the ball down low to him, and he went to make a move. Porzingis is there. My man put his head down. He bumped him in his chest. He gave him a headbutt, spun around, hit him again, and just laid the ball in like, you can't touch me, bro. You can't touch me. Dude was like, Porzingis was like, what you want me to do? And I'm fouled, done everything. My dude like, and the other thing too is to see Murray. Murray's been hurt off and on, but Murray stepped up. It's like they had lost a few games prior to that game, and they came in with a little moxie, like, you know what, we defended champions, and Boston had won. They had not lost at home. I think when they won 20 straight games, something to that effect at home. They had not lost at home, and they just came in with another level. And saw some folks jumping around and just getting into it, which I've been looking for their bench, and they just literally just took it from Boston. You know, that's the one thing I always wondered about the Celtics. You make the trade, you get you another guard in. White's playing his butt off for you at the other guard position. But I'm like, where is the leadership? Where is the leadership? And again, it's almost like you get, how many times have we watched Boston get punked, right? You know, it was Miami last year. Like, oh, they got Miami. They always seem like they get that point where it get real tight and they get pumped. And Denver's like, well, here we go again. But that was really interesting from that standpoint. I'm still loving OKC. They giving you all the stuff that's going on too. They might have that little lawsuit thing kind of falling off now, so maybe they can get back to playing basketball.
Yeah,
So
Giddy, what's happening with that? He's still on the
yeah,
court.
I think they're dismissing the charges, brother. It kind of went away. So I told you that money, bro, money talk. But that's for another story because I don't even want to get to that because I don't really know allegedly. But other than that, Clippers playing well. I'm interested in Indiana after the trade from Siakam. 6'8" power forward is exactly what they need. I think they're gonna make some moves as well. Sacramento's trying to come along, play a little bit better. I think they're 7-10 in their Utah. I'm sorry, 7-3 in their last 10. Side note, even though nobody wants for them to do well, I'm gonna say it anyway. I'm not saying they're gonna win it all, but watch them Lakers, bro. They showing little inklings of the team that made that run, not to win it all, but to kind of turn things up like they did last year. Anthony Davis is acting like he wants to play and not get hurt this year. You might know this might be LeBron's little last swan song with the Lakers. Russell D'Lo is trying to do a little something, just a little bit. They still got a little bit in the switch. I'm not saying they're gonna win it all or anything, but they're showing signs of life. And the way that the West is right now, I'm not buying Minnesota. I think they're gonna slowly fall. It's gonna be Denver. Clippers gonna be around, and at that point, all you gotta do is just push. And the way that the Lakers play ball, I mean, will they beat Denver? Probably not. But I think that they can still push their way up to that second or third slot because I don't really believe that the other teams in the West are that strong. I mean, you say Garnett and Phoenix and them, but hell, are they collectively, when are they going to ever play together? I think, truthfully, as I get off this last point, it's almost for me like I'm watching Brooklyn, the same Brooklyn team with the big three with a Band-Aid on it. Who's going to show up this week? I mean, it's almost contagious that Bradley Beal is like, damn, you caught that injury bug too, bro? I thought you was going to be healthy and ready to go. He got that bug too. Anyway, talk to the trainers, bro. Something's going on in Phoenix. I don't know.
I was talking to Black about this before we started the show that the Lakers are becoming the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA to me. I mean, the team you just love to hate. A team you just love to hate. And it's mainly because of LeBron and also the fans of the Lakers. They expect to be there every year. And I see these sports shows talk about the Lakers like they're in first place in the Western Conference and they ignore every other team in the league, and that's why I'm saying I think they're kind of the equivalent of Dallas Cowboys at this particular point. This is my opinion. All right, let's go to college basketball. You have some teams inching up the rankings. Of course, UConn is still number 1, followed by Purdue. North Carolina moved up from number 4 to number 3. Houston dropped down to number 5. Tennessee was number 6. Now they're number 5. Kentucky moved 2 spots to the number 6 position. Kansas dropped down from number 3 to number 7. Auburn, they were 13th last week. Now they're number 8. Arizona has moved up after taking some spills a few times this season. And also Illinois from 14 to 10. You have Oklahoma, who moved up to the 11th spot. Duke dropped down, ironically, from number 7 to 12. And then Marquette is trying to inch their way back. They were number 17. Now they're number 14. Give me your eye test, Black.
UConn, man. I think I said it last week. I'm surprised that they're here. Had a chance to watch them go against Villanova. That was a tight game. I'm impressed with the way they're playing. I'm impressed with the way they're playing. Purdue sometimes show me some things. I look at them. I'm happy with them. This is how the kind of things roll with them. A little surprised that Kentucky has kind of found its way to where they are. I sometimes don't trust them a little bit, but basically, man, I'm just kind of rounding things out now that football's starting to kind of wind things down. I kind of get my groove back and kind of focus in because, you guys aren't giving out the freelance information like you used to, man. Even though, Icy's watching college basketball a lot, but he's talking more about Ann Beatty talking about college basketball. Last week he was trying to, if you guys really paying attention, for the past couple of weeks, Ice been pushing Duke. What happened to Duke this past week? So keep that in mind, man. We ain't falling for the banana and tailpipe, baby.
Yeah, and teams like Creighton, they moved up one spot.
Yeah, Creighton played UConn kind of well when they did play a little while ago.
They're a dangerous team. They're quietly sitting back in the cut. Another team that Ice talks about a lot, Dayton Flyers, and they moved up from 21 to number 16. Ice, your eye test, man.
Yeah, well, he said Duke lost the game. Now they ain't no good. Okay. Remember this. When he gets to the tournament, y'all go ahead and listen to him because he don't won, what, 2 in a row, 3 in a row, whatever it may be. So now he an expert. Anyway. He an expert now. Okay. Because pandemic, like I should have during the pandemic, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? No, a lot of things are happening. Duke took an L, but a lot of teams are up and down. Puma mentioned the Dayton Flyers. Dayton Flyers have won 13 straight games, man. 13 straight games. And they are playing with a reckless abandon from that standpoint. Arizona got one, trying to come back a little bit. When you look at, I thought Memphis was going to make a run. Memphis still a little off and on like that, too. Tennessee, I ain't buying the Carolina, bro. I know it. Puma, you feeling good right now?
No.
I ain't buying it.
No.
I'm not buying it. I know I'm happy for them to make a run, but you know what they're going to do. They broke my heart last year, and I can't buy into it. Simply put, let's keep this 100 with Purdue. Told you guys last time. When you put pressure on the Purdue guards, it causes a problem, right? Causes a problem. Trying to remember the stat I read, something to the effect where what they're shooting from 3-point land, right? I think it's less than 30%, 32% maybe.
They shouldn't be shooting from there.
Huh?
They shouldn't be shooting from there.
Yeah, but regardless, if you have those guards, that backcourt, when they score the bucket, even if, let's say they shot 40% from 3-point line, it opens the door for the center, Edney, and Edey, and then they're going to do what they do. If they run into teams that put the clamps down, Edey might have 49, but you put them clamps on those guards on the outside, almost anybody can beat them. Northwestern beat them, right? Those teams that put pressure on the guards and make you work that way. Kentucky, I like where they're going. Illinois is still trying, even though they're still going through the situation with the lawsuit with their star player.
Now here he might be coming back because they worked something out.
Okay, that's kind of like that situation with the Oklahoma player last year in Alabama. I'm sorry, Alabama with the
Alabama.
Yeah. So with Miller, but I don't know. it's up and down. I like Iowa State. I'm throwing them out there. I think they kind of back and forth, but stay tuned because what you really want to know is where Black Thor is going to be at. I dare him to pick UConn. I dare you to pick UConn to be in the Final Four. See
Might
what
not
happens.
be a bad pick. May not be.
Well, I mean, well, that's good. Hopefully, y'all both be on the same page then.
All right, let's go to women's college basketball. Congratulations to Stanford coach Tara Vanderveer, the winningest coach of all time with 1,203 games. We spotlighted the guys last week. Like some players this week. McKinney Hofschild from Colorado State, averaging 23.9 points a game. She is a senior guard, 5'2". Also, Lucy Olson from Villanova. She's averaging 22.8 points a game, a junior guard, 5'9". And Dominique Davis from Southern Miss, who's averaging 21.9 points a game. She's a senior guard, 5'6". These ladies, watch out for. But let's go to the standings real quick. You still got South Carolina at number 1, UCLA, Colorado, Kansas State, Iowa that took it on the chin against Ohio State. Give you some stats about that. Stanford at number 6, North Carolina State number 7, UConn. They're moving up. They moved up one slot from last week. LSU moved up one slot at the number 9, and Texas at the number 10 spot. USC dropped 5 spots down to number 11. Give me your eye test, because I was tuned into the game yesterday, and a stat that came out that I noticed that when Caitlin scores over 45 points, they're 0 for 3 or 4 in those games. So what teams seem to be doing is like, hey, you get all you can get. We're shutting down everybody else. We're shutting down the kitchen. Go ahead and cook, but we're shutting down the kitchen for everybody else. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah, we're going to stay right in Columbus because I had one of my dear, great friends who's a hell of a shooter, Johnny Clark. Yeah, I'm calling you out, bro. I know you're one of the top shooting instructors in the country. But, bruh, don't be mad at me when I told you and announced on Facebook that it takes a real team to beat Iowa. He's like, well, Iowa's, 17-1, number 2 in the country, and Caitlin is averaging about 30 points a game and 7 assists. Not against the Buckeyes. She dropped 45, bruh, and was still shooting when she left the court. Dropped 45. 2 other people in double figures, man. I mean, I know you live in Columbus, you ain't trying to give the Lady Buckeyes no love, but they were still 45 points from a very special player. And the fact that they came back the way that they did, and Cody McMahon struggled early on and ended up with like 18 points in the fourth quarter, something to that effect. Such a monster. It's like watching Charles Barkley play women's basketball. She purposely just runs into girls so she can get that physicality off. And for them to win in overtime at home, I think they kind of showed you the blueprint for the way that you beat Iowa. And Iowa has a very good team, but show me another situation. Like you said, the stat, though, there's not too many teams that can handle the force of Miss Clark. She dropped 45 and was doing everything she could handle. But the Buckeyes, as they got late in the fourth quarter, they said, we're going to defend the hell out of it as much as we can, and we're going to force somebody else to beat us. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't get it done. That's what the team did. They turned it up and they won. So I understand. I ain't saying they're going to win the national championship, but for them to win the way that they did after losing the number 2 UCLA, which I attended in person, and then to watch this game where they fought back, this might be a statement win for them. If they play like this collectively, they can play with anybody in the country.
Let's go to our last second shot. I'm going to go to Black first. What's your last second shot, man?
I texted you this, guys, just during the game, during the Buffalo-Kansas City game yesterday. It's got to the point now, I'm just going to speak on her specifically, but it's kind of like sideline report in general. Tracy is a joke. What they was doing with that woman yesterday is a joke. She's talking about players going out of the game. Hey, we're going to check this and get the players back in the game. That happened like 4 times yesterday. And I don't want to hear any more player go to the sideline. Oh, it's questionable. We know that already. If you have nothing objectable or really worth saying, shut up. I don't want to hear it. I just don't. It's a mockery of what's going on. I mean, I know she's a woman. If you have nothing else for her really to do, take her off the game, bro. I don't want to hear her. Again, what she's doing makes no sense at all. I know you want to have her out there, but give her something realistic to do and say, because she sounds like an idiot.
Ice?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to where I was before. Kudos to Detroit Lions and their fans, because they diehards, man. One thing about Detroit, you can have a damn good time during the pregame festivities. If they go into the Super Bowl or the conference championship or day 2 and whatever, they do not care. Kudos to their fans for that. Kudos to Lamar, man. Lamar Jackson stepping up, not caring what nobody else says. You know you don't look the part, bro. You don't represent the way that they want you to look. Your mom must work your contract. Your hair ain't right. And you know if you go in the Super Bowl and you are the MVP of the Super Bowl, I'm telling y'all this right now, your ass is not going to Disney World. So I'm just telling you, they're not going to invite you to Disney World. So go on to make them mad, win the Super Bowl, make everybody mad, and go and get your paper, bro. Anyway, other than that, what can you say? Great things going on with the Houston Texans, but there's going to be some interesting games this weekend.
Yeah, I know we've been trying to get to this story for the last couple of weeks, but Knicks chairman James Dolan accused of sexual assault, trafficking with a new lawsuit with Harvey Weinstein. If there was ever a time for you to step away, the time is now. The gig is up. Your boy Harvey Weinstein is in prison now, and if you're connected with him, you going too. Just sell the team. I've been pushing this for years. Sell the team. Get out of it right now. That's our show. We'll be back next week. Peace.